What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Pass or Play. Today we're taking a look at Fist, Forged in Shadow Torch, developed by Shanghai TI Games Network Technology Limited and published by Billy. Now, this game is part of the China Hero project, and if you aren't familiar with what that is, it's basically PlayStation going over to Asian independent developers, figuring out how to help them get their indie games onto their console exclusively at first. I do believe this game is coming to other consoles in the future, but right now it is a PlayStation console exclusive and it is on PC. So, Fist, Forged in Shadow Torch, what is it? Well, it was shown off at the Sony State of Play a few months ago over the summer. It's the one where you are playing as a rabbit with a giant mechanical arm. If you remember that one. If not, I will have some gameplay interspersed here. But essentially, you take on the role of Rayton, who is a rabbit. He used to be a soldier in a war, and that is why he can use this mechanical fist. He used to pilot these giant mechanical robots, but he lives in Torch City, and Torch City has been taken over by Iron Dogs. It's sort of a mercenary group. They've implemented like a dictatorship over there. They control everything. They've ran the city into the ground. They're looking for something called the Spark, and the Spark is meant to be a power source that can give them unlimited power. And Rayton gets pulled into their conflict through his friends, and he goes off on a quest to save Torch City and take down the Iron Dogs. Now, in your quest, you meet tons of characters. You meet Lady Q, you meet his friend Bovie. You travel all over the city. You go to underground facilities. You go to old temples, underwater, skyscrapers. The environments in this game are top notch. There are a plethora of them, and they're all well designed. I will say, if we're speaking of visuals, I think the game, when you're playing it, is fantastic. I think the game looks beautiful. I think that it has a really good art style. I think that the resolution, the frames per second, holds steady when you're playing. But when you are in a cutscene, that is a different story. The cutscenes drastically lower the resolution in a noticeable way. I play on an LG OLED, and it was shocking. Every time you got into a cutscene, I swear the resolution dropped probably under 1080p. The character models became blurry, less defined. It did not look good. They really need to address that in future patches. But from a gameplay perspective, I think this game really excels. It's a Metroidvania, so you're traveling back and forth between locations. Lots of puzzles to solve, items to get. That'll help you improve your stats, whether it be health, this SP gauge. You can get new upgrades to your weapons. You can get different weapons. You start with a giant fist, you get this electric whip, you get a drill, and they all have different uses outside of combat. The drill lets you float, it lets you swim underwater like a propeller. The electric whip lets you use it as a grappling hook. So there are tons of different uses, and these come into play later in the game. And it's interesting because when you're playing, like, oh, I can't access that yet, but at Metroidvania, I'm going to come back here at some point. And that is something I think this game does great. A good sticking point in Metroidvanias for me is when they let you transverse easy. You don't want to be frustrated going back to old areas. In Fist, you have multiple ways to fast travel. You have a train, you have a teleporter system, and then you just have the interconnected cityways. Each area basically connects to another one. You have to unlock the connection, which might require a certain upgrade or a puzzle, but they do connect to make traveling way easier, and I think that really excels in this game. I do have some issues with this game outside of the resolution. There is a massive difficulty jump towards the end of the game. The last 3 bosses are absolute nonsense. They have broken mechanics. They have 3 health bars, which is more than any other boss in the game. You fight them back to back. It's so frustrating. I was playing on normal, and I got so frustrated I Googled what to do, and it turns out that they just patched in an easy mode, and easy mode was the only way I was going to beat this game. I literally, maybe if I went and collected everything else in the city and upgraded fully, but I don't feel like I should have had to do that to finish the game. That's not required. I'm just trying to play the story. I did collect some stuff, but I just wanted to beat the game. So I dropped it down to easy, and let me tell you, it was super easy after that. I think there was a middle ground they need to find there between normal and easy, because their normal's more like hard. But I'm glad they gave that accessibility option for people that wanted to see the conclusion of Rayton's story but didn't want to be frustrated to no end. So that is my main criticism, is I think the boss fights are a little frustrating. Earlier in the game, it's fine. You do it a few times, you get the pattern, and then you win. This, I haven't the slightest idea what they were thinking with these design decisions. It was just nonsense in my opinion. And I think it ultimately hurt the game. I think it brings what probably was an 8.5 out of 10 down to a 7.5 out of 10 for me. I do recommend it, especially on PlayStation right now where there isn't much to play in my opinion. I know Deathloop just came out. I'm not a Deathloop guy. This is a solid indie game. It's coming in at that, upper 70s, lower 80s for a Metacritic score range. If you're looking for a good solid title, this game's $30. I would pick it up. I highly recommend doing that if you're looking for something fun to play. Overall, I enjoyed my time with Fist. I do think that for Shanghai's first game, this is a good first attempt. I can see the solid foundation they have. I think they need a little more, budget and time to really bring their ideas to life, because it kind of fell apart at the end there. But overall, I'm happy I played Fist, and I do recommend it to anyone else. So let me know what you guys think if you have played it. If not, and you check it out, let me know down below in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I've been Kevin, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.